For instance, most people don't know. They don't realize that people that you trust, people that seem to support Trump, people that seem to be supportive of an America First agenda are also supportive of taking your gun rights away. Folks, check out this article. We're not going to spend too long on this, but I want you to see this. This is from the National File. It says, read the names. 135 Republicans vote with Democrats to advance red flag gun confiscation bill as part of NDAA. It says Republicans fall for classic Democrat trick to include controversial legislation in a bill to fund the troops, not the truth, excuse me. This is by Tom Pappert. All right, guys, take a look. I want you to listen to this. This is very, very important because people you would never expect are in this list. And I have a question for those people that I'll reveal at the end of this article. This morning, the United States House of Representatives voted to advance legislation that will allow police to confiscate firearms of individuals believed to be a threat to themselves or others, known as red flag laws, that became highly controversial during the Trump administration due to the fears that they would be abused. This anti-Second Amendment bill, which soared through the U.S. House and will now head to the Senate, had the bipartisan support of 135 Republican representatives. All right, folks, really quick, the issue with this isn't that psychotic people shouldn't have guns. It's that you can abuse this. If you give the government the right to just blankly take away gun rights from folks and confiscate their weapons based upon the accusation or the belief that they're out of their mind or they shouldn't have those guns, how far does it go? If my neighbor who doesn't like me or wants to hurt me or wants to rape my daughter or steal my possessions calls the government, calls the police and says, my neighbor, I hear him at the night howling like a wolf and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I hear his wife screaming. I hear him out of his mind. I heard he's a veteran. I heard all of these things. He has guns too. And I see him playing with those guns. He's just making them up. Let's just say he's making all of these things up. Will they then come and take my firearms away? If this passes, they just might. That's very, very, very powerful in the hands of the wrong people. So why is it being voted for? It's very strange. While many of those who voted alongside Democrats are not surprising to many, others portray themselves as America First candidates who seek to realize President Donald Trump's agenda. Among these are Reps Matt Gaetz, Madison Cawthorn, Elise Stefanik, Devin Nunes, Ronnie Jackson, President Trump's former White House doctor, Greg Pence, the brother of former Vice President Mike Pence, as well as House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Why? I wonder. Who else voted for this? Other Republicans who voted for the red flag law gun confiscation bill include many of President Trump's opponents, including those who voted for impeachment. Among these are Reps Herrera Butler, Dan Newhouse, Fred Upton, Peter Maher, John Katko, Dave Vallado, Adam Kinzinger, and Liz Cheney. That's that group, Liz Cheney, wanting to take over the Republican Party, get rid of the Trump Republicans. So are these Trump Republicans, the Kevin McCarthys, the Mike Pences, the Greg Pences, the Devin Nuneses, the Madison Cawthorns, the Matt Gaetz of the world, are they just covering their butts just in case Liz Cheney does win, just in case somehow, some way the MAGA movement is crushed and the left retains power and the right reforms itself, cleansing its palate and removing all of the MAGAites from its ranks, with Liz Cheney leading it as a Cerberus of some sort of snake, some serpent, with Liz Cheney at the head if she leads the party? Are these folks, Matt Gaetz, Madison Cawthorn, Elise Stefanik, Devin Nunes, and so on, are they trying to make sure that their political careers survive? Are they playing politics? Are there other reasons? What are the reasons? I want to know why they would vote to give my neighbor the power to play God with my Second Amendment rights. As is typical for Democrat presidents, the red flag law gun confiscation legislation, that's such a rhyme right there. The red flag law gun confiscation legislations. The red flag law gun confiscation legislation, it's a new Schoolhouse Rocks, was folded into the often controversial National Defense Authorization Act bill for 2021, which funds the United States Armed Forces. Typically, Democrats use this bill, which is politically costly for Republicans to avoid assenting to ram unpopular legislation through the House. One thing I don't understand, right? Because that's why these Democrats, these Republicans, these pro-Trump Republicans, they're going to use that as a shield. They're going to say, hey, we did this because the military, our woke-ass military, wouldn't be funded without us voting for this. Well, maybe, just maybe the Republican Party should have some balls for once. They should have a spine, a backbone. They should stand up and say, fine, we're not funding anything. At some point, the left has to give, don't you think? Why can't, I never see this, why can't a Republican stand on a soapbox in their town with a camera on them and say, hey, we know this is going to hurt the military, but we're doing this because they want to take your guns away. And we're trying to make sure we're not dumb. We're not dumb politicians, lefties. We're not dumb. We're smart. The American people are smart. They can come to us. They can say, hey, we know this is going to suck for a bit, but we have to do it because of this. It's in our best interest to do it because of this and that. If we stand up and we don't allow the funding, we have more time to negotiate the removal of this program, which takes your guns away. Why can't they say that to us? They don't. They're too scared. They're cowards. They're afraid that they'll lose their political career. That's why I wonder who's whispering in the ear of the young Madison Cawthorn. He's fresh. Is it Matt Gaetz giving him advice? Who could it be? Is it Devin Nunes? These people that we think are our friends, our allies, our politicians that we look up to, are they? Do we really believe in them? I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying that they're even doing this. I'm not saying that they even have ill intentions. All I'm saying is that you should question everything. In 2012, many Republicans faced similar outcry from voters after they voted for Barack Obama's 2012 NDAA, which Obama signed into law in December of 2011. The 2012 NDAA legalized the indefinite detainment and detention of American citizens, which you're seeing right now with some of the January 6th protesters. Just want to bring it up. Just making a point. Just saying. All right? Just saying. The 2012 NDAA legalized the indefinite detainment and detention of American citizens and made it illegal to protest an event where Secret Service was present. Many Republicans defended their vote by claiming it was necessary to make sure active duty troops would receive their pay. The ACLU slammed the Obama regime for the law at the time, but it became law nonetheless. And like I said, it's because Republicans don't seem to ever have a spine. They don't do anything about anything. Stand up for what you believe in. Stand up for what you believe in. So tell me, why do you think 135, was that the right number? 135? Yeah, it's right there. 135 Republican representatives. Why do you think they voted to allow your neighbor to have so much power, to allow the left to have so much power, to allow your guns to be taken away based upon accusations? Did they do it to save their own skin later on? Did they do it because they were ignorant and they didn't read the bill? Did they do it because they thought there would be political fallout for not defending the military but defunding the military in protest? which eventually they would have gotten funded. You can't have a country without a military. All right. Are they actual elitists? Are Matt Gaetz, Madison Cawthorn, Devin Nunes, Greg Pence, Mike Pence's brother, Kevin McCarthy, are these people to be trusted? Are they really for MAGA, for America First, for Trump's political agenda? Are they just saving their own skin? Here's what I know. While the elites are scrambling to save their own skin, while they're scrambling to pull their act together, while everything is falling apart around them, unlikely things seem to be happening. I told you last week on American Reveille, episode 172, about Nicki Minaj becoming an unlikely figure, an unlikely person standing up for free speech. Well, now, opposing points of view, people from the apparent left, what's supposed to be the left, I guess, people from the socialist side of things, and people from the right, the MAGA crowd, all right, people that were standing up for their bodily autonomy, for their rights to not get a vaccine, are standing side by side. It's very strange how these groups have come together over something that happened with Nicki Minaj, but it just goes to show how there's possible ways, hear me out, that the United States could start to unite over a common bad guy, a common enemy. And who is that common bad guy? It's the elites that have further corrupted the U.S. government and don't want to work towards a solution that would bring true peace and equality across this country. Not equity. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for equality.